Yo, what up, Asheville? It's your boy Convenience, and welcome back to The Visionary. On this episode, I got Mook the BTSG.
Yeah.
What you been up to, bro?
I mean, you already know. I do the same things every day. Dad life, working out, getting ready for my next event, whether it's wrestling or whether it's something to do with music. I've just been keeping my 10 toes down on the pavement. You know what I'm talking
Hell yeah. So, go through a day, like a typical daylight. Then,
about?
when do you wake up and...
When I wake up. So during the week, right now we going through, we going through a little bit of the pandisnai, if you will.
Yes, sir.
Luckily I'm blessed enough to have a job that I can work at home. So admittedly, if I am not on my grind, I'm waking up at 8:25 because I clock in at 8:30
Oh, damn.
in my living room. So I go from my bedroom, I wake up and I run down the steps, I clock in, and I work. I might make some breakfast here and there, something like that. While I'm on break or something like that. But yeah, my kiddo comes to the house every afternoon around 3:30, 4 o'clock, and then once I'm able to clock out, it's me and his time for the rest of the day, and we just chill. Generally, we go outside, and I play with him and kind of disguise it as a workout for myself. You know what I mean? I'm working out and I'm playing with him like, throw this big ball back to me, something like that. Or we have this thing called a crazy cart, and he'll ride the crazy cart around the neighborhood, and I'm running after him. So I'm keeping up with the cardio and things like that, because that's probably my biggest challenge when it comes to athleticism. But yeah, that's really my day. I spend a lot of time on my phone trying to scout talent, looking at talent, conversing with Spaceman about our next event and things like that. Stay on top of the business. I always say that my life, as far as like my job is concerned, that I'm very lucky because it affords me the time and opportunity and the monetary circumstance to be able to achieve my goals. So I always got to make sure that I'm paying attention to work first, you know what I'm saying? So that,
Oh, yeah.
So I got to take care of business.
So, tell me, like, you said you're working at home. What do you do as far as work?
I'm a caseworker. I work for the Department of Health and Human Services. Shout out to Economic Services. You know what I'm saying? So I get to see some of the best and some of the worst situations. Generational poverty, I deal with that a lot. But I think it's full circle. A lot of people who are not from this area, or since I'm not from this area, a lot of people don't really know my story and know the things that I've gone through. They just kind of see like the a polished finished product, if you will, kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like when I did get on the scene in music, I did have a decent job, and I did have a lot of great things going for me at the time, but like the glow up wasn't overnight, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I jumping back to what I was saying, it was full circle, is that my family struggled growing up, you know what I mean? So I was homeless a couple times, and definitely my family was on food stamps. So I think it was an excellent opportunity, the way that I was presented with the opportunity to work for the Department of Health and Human Services. I didn't want to squander that opportunity. And like I said, just thinking about it full circle, I'm a firm believer that everything happens for a reason.
Exactly.
So when that came around, it was just like, bet, I'm gonna jump on that and make the most of it. And man, I was so scared because up until that point, I had been pushing T-shirts, bro. Like I was managing, I was managing retail stores, and I was in an environment, and I'll say it. I was working at J. Crew, the distribution center there, Brevard Road, and bro, I don't know what it was, but I was dedicated. I was a manager for quite some time, right? And in order, when you're managing, you gotta have an ability to kind of not necessarily control, but you gotta know how to delegate. And they always kept saying that I was too aggressive. So over the years, they would never promote me. So I was like, bro, I'm out.
Yeah, exactly. If you ain't going nowhere with
Yeah, but when I got presented the opportunity, it was so different than what I was used to doing that I was so nervous I was gonna fail. But I took the opportunity, and I can't even see my life not doing it unless I'm absolutely doing something with my creativity. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And that's like really dope how you can do that, and that's like something you love. Plus you can work at home too. That gives you, or that saves you actually like what, gas money, saves like a whole bunch of time going back and from work.
Yeah, and that's just now, right now, during the little pandemic or whatever, and not little at all, but during the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
During office life, I honestly enjoy life more whenever I am able to go to the office. Then I mean, that would be obvious because the pandemic wasn't around. But
Mm-hmm.
my mornings would start off pretty early. I was having like my little meditation time or working out first thing in the morning when I'm waking up. It was a lot easier to stay in shape because even though some of the gyms are open now, I'm not trusting it.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm sticking to my home workouts and everything. But yeah, I mean, the work in the office life, I do enjoy it. But it is what it is. I think it's a good opportunity now to, like you said, save time, and I can use that time and be creative and and work on the. It's good to plan, but me and Spaceman always talk about, planning only gets you so far. You got to be able to execute.
Exactly.
And so, being able to work at home gives me the opportunity to not only plan, but, you know, envision the execution of what it is that we are planning, because that's super important, especially.
Exactly. I heard in one of my interviews someone brought up that like if you ain't grinding at like what you're wanting to do during this pandemic, you're obviously not dedicated to it because like basically the pandemic is giving like everybody an excuse to like literally focus on your hobby. And so if you ain't like taking that time, then obviously you ain't about it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, and like I said before, I'm blessed, and I feel blessed, and I wake up every morning and I thank the universal power for putting me in the position that He has been. But I have a full time job. I am occupied for basically 8.5 hours a day because I count the half hour because I'm got to take lunch, whatever,
Yeah.
and I take a short lunch because I'd rather not take a lunch at all and work through, but they don't let me do that.
Oh.
But you know what I'm saying. So basically, 8.5 hours of my day, I literally have to do something that somebody else is telling me to do. You know what I'm saying, or what my job is calling for.
Yeah.
But that hasn't stopped me at all from continuing to scout talent for UCW, continue to write the storylines for UCW along with my partner Spaceman Jones, and organizing all the different moving pieces that we have to organize to execute a show, which we're trying to execute, hoping things don't go backwards in the phases, but definitely wanting to be conscious and considerate to all the cases that are happening right now, but just hoping that things improve, that we can actually execute some of these plans, because we were planning on having a show right when COVID hit.
Oh, for
And
real?
yeah, so the thing is that we had to kind of postpone all those things.
Damn.
We've got a tiny little bit of an open window, and so we like, hey, we got all these plans, we want to do this, and all this stuff is possible, and we're lining everything up. But we also got to be conscious for our people, you know what I mean? So we can't be for the culture and then put the culture in danger. You know what I'm saying? So we're taking that into consideration, and we just, like I said before, we just on the ground. Me and Spaceman talk probably like 8 to 10 times a day, just making sure that everything that we want to happen is happening. You know what I mean? And making connections with our venue and everything else like that. We're excited, but we just making sure that we're gonna be able to bring the excitement to the folks.
Oh yeah, most definitely. It's actually better to like take time to like perfect something and then just like half-ass it just to get it out there.
Oh,
So,
absolutely. I
yeah.
mean, we take a little bit of like 3 months time in between, not in between, but like as far as writing stories and writing up. Generally we're 3 months ahead, 3 to 6 months ahead of whatever it is that we want to do, for execution. And I mean, like you said, it just, you gotta prepare. You gotta know what's going on.
Oh yeah, damn, that's actually dope. Y'all do it like
Yeah.
6 months in ahead.
Yeah.
I thought maybe it was what, like a month or two.
Nah, bro. It's like a lot of these storylines, and I mean, it makes it difficult sometimes because sometimes you don't know exactly who you're gonna have it as at your disposal. Because the interesting thing about professional wrestling, especially when you're not talking about the WWE scene, because that's more or less like, once you're there, you're stuck. A lot of these other places like Impact, Ring of Honor, AEW, they are more open to the idea of the contracted worker, and they understand that that's not the only place that they're going to be able to make money. You know what I'm saying? So, in saying that is that, if we have a person that we're creating a storyline for and they get a better opportunity, because I mean there are 1,000 opportunities out there. You know what I'm saying? And if they get a better opportunity, they would be an idiot to not take it. You know what I'm saying? Because they're independent. Yeah, you know what I mean? They're independent. They gotta get their own. They gotta get their own bread, just like we doing it.
Exactly.
So sometimes it's a little difficult to stay ahead of the curve because you don't know what's gonna happen. You know what I mean? We've literally had the rug pulled out from underneath us 2 or 3 weeks before execution date. Like, we had the storyline, we had all the boys booked, we had everything happen, and one thing happened and it crumbled everything. But luckily we put our boots in the pavement and shit, you know what I'm saying, and we made it happen.
That's good that you're able to do that shit, because a lot of like stuff now, you have to have that ability to improvise on stuff. Like if something happens, you gotta be able to think, okay, what can we do now, and just be able to like flip the script basically.
Absolutely, and think on your toes. I mean, everything is not a defeating position. Like I said before, I'm a firm believer that everything happens for a reason, man. And like, I just knew that it was a test, like a test from the universe to like, all right, y'all think you got everything planned out. I've been trying to send you hints and warnings. Now I'm gonna just take this whole situation out of your hands and do what I need to do with it to make sure it can be a success. And we had one option to either succeed or fail. You know what I'm saying? Or two options. Well, you had to choose one.
Yeah.
And we weren't gonna just sit down and just take a beating, bro. Like,
thanks, no.
But I have to give it up to my partner Spaceman. I think having a support system, because we was there for each other through the whole situation that happened, that that really made all the blows that we faced a little bit easier, and finding solutions all that much more easier because there was two brains on it.
Oh yeah, so. It's not doing it, or it's not easy doing it solo.
Oh yeah.
It's always like somewhat of a little help to at least have like one other person to help you with that shit.
Man, it's about partnerships and relationships and networking. And I mean, I definitely know what my strengths are, and I rest in those. I am not afraid to hire somebody who can do some shit better than me. Yeah,
exactly.
I mean? So,
it's always about improvement.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
So let's take it back to your early life. Where was you born and raised at?
I was born here in Asheville, North Carolina, but I have no memories of my childhood here in Asheville. I was raised between Columbia, South Carolina, and a little town called Claremont, Florida. Just early, toddler years and little elementary school years was in Columbia, South Carolina, and then teenage years was in Claremont, Florida. So generally, when people ask me where I'm from, I tell them that I'm from Florida because, as far as like puberty, my mindset of like how I grew up and like what I remember as far as friends and things like that. I kind of see, a lot of where you're from kind of directs your point of view as a person. You know what I'm saying? And so I always tell people like I bring like a view of the tropics to the mountains. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm obviously I'm a black dude. You know what I'm saying? But I'm a little bit more tropical in the sense of just my outlook and the cultural melting pot that I was from. And I mentioned this to you earlier because, bro, like once I moved up here to the Bible Belt, we came here for the summers, you know what I mean? Like me and my sister, we came here for camp and all the other stuff. We had a good time for the summers and coming for weekends to hang out with my grandparents. I wasn't really exposed to too much that was going on in Asheville back then.
Exactly.
But now, as an adult in Asheville, I'm like, yo, where in the what year is it, bro? It's crazy.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
Yeah, it's super crazy to me. I mean, so there's a lot of improvement and a lot of things that's gotta happen up here culturally. But I mean, I'm glad I'm here. It's a great place to raise a kid, or I'll say it's a better place to raise a kid than where I grew up, because I just don't want to. I don't want my kid to grow up with some of the stuff that I saw. You know
Exactly,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
And some of the things, but yeah, Florida is basically Claremont and Orlando. That's like my kind of mindset. That's where I let people know where I'm from for that reason.
Oh yeah. So with that being said, what was your typical day like in your childhood, like around like that moment when you was living in Florida?
Oh God, when I was living in Florida, my mama waking me up, let me know, bruh, you got to get up to go to the bus. Cause I'm not about to come and pick you up from the house. I'm about to leave and go to work. My mom been a teacher my entire life.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, man. And so
That's
she,
dope.
so she at the school early, and would be mad as hell if she had to come pick me up because I missed the bus. You know what I'm saying? That's an automatic.
Oh my God.
That's an automatic. Mama's not playing. My mother Mook is not playing that. But yeah, so waking up, you know what I'm saying? Get my eggs, get my, bacon on. Everybody that knows me know that I am big on breakfast. I do not miss a breakfast meal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I love breakfast. Like, that's honestly one of my favorite meals of the day is breakfast.
Absolutely. Starts the day off right. At work, back in the office days, if I come into work and I don't speak to nobody, they always say, just wait till he get his breakfast. He'll be all right. Just wait till he get his breakfast. He'll be all right. And usually if I get to my office, because I come in a little bit later because, I have to take my son to school.
Mm-hmm.
But when I come into the office, generally everybody is already there. And if my phone rings before I have a chance to actually get into my breakfast, because I would usually bring my breakfast to work, you would hear the people around my office being like, don't answer the phone. Don't answer that. You're not ready. Just eat your breakfast first. Because I'm a different person before I get that first meal in.
So breakfast is basically like your coffee to most people.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And it's funny because I don't even drink coffee with breakfast.
Damn. Yeah, you don't drink coffee, but yeah, your breakfast is just like coffee.
I got to have the breakfast. If I don't eat in the morning, it's a bad day, cuz. But yeah, just get my meal, and walk to the bus, head to school. I honestly was a good student. Like I said, my mom's been a teacher my whole life, and I figured out real early that, like, and not to be cliche, Lil Wayne said it the best. Like, they literally gave me the answer. You know what I'm saying? And like, my mom, the other thing that I knew, that if I wanted freedom to do what it was that I wanted to do, then I had to be good in school. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people was sneaking out to do all the stuff that they was doing. They be like, yo, your mom cool, da da. It's like, well, I mean, really, I literally just had to do, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like, so much. I had to clean up, had to do this, had to make sure my home was done. I made the BAB honor roll, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like, yeah, mama cool, but she crazy too. So,
she was expecting a lot of that.
Yeah, she's a teacher. She's like, why can't you get this? Like, I'm you know what I mean? So, I did my thing, but I also worked, you know what I'm saying? Because my mom let me know early, like, I'm gonna get you some Skechers, or I might get you, a pair of Felines, but if you want those Reeboks, or if you want those Nikes, or she wouldn't even talk about Jordans in the house when I was a kid. You know what I'm talking about? If that's what you want. But that was the whole reason why I got my first job, was because I wanted a pair of shoes that she was not gonna buy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It was just like, bet, I know what I gotta do. I'm allowing this application. I'm gonna tell them that I'm older than what I really am, and I'm gonna get this money real quick, and I'm gonna quit.
Yeah, so that's how you did it.
That's the first time I worked.
So when did you start? When was your first job, basically, and how
when I lied?
Yeah, when you lied.
I lied when I was 15. It was,
that ain't bad.
No, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad at all. But I wasn't allowed to work the shifts that I was working because I was going to school. I couldn't work during the daytime, so I had to work overnight. So I lied and told them that I was 18.
Damn.
And bro, like, we're sitting here person to person. People who know me, they know my stature. I've been this size my entire life. There's no way that I was 18, bro. Like, no way. But I lied and told him I was 18. It just happened my stepdad was cool with one of the folks at the job, and they just let me on. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But once the wrong person found out, they had to let me go. But it was after I had turned 16. So once I turned 16, I just went up the street to this other restaurant and started working for real. Signed a W-2, but you know. But it was bred in me too, you know, because I saw when I got my first job, after I got my first job, it was after I seen my mom struggle already. You know what I'm saying? And so I had seen my mom be a teacher and be a delivery driver for Pizza Hut at the same time, trying to support, you know, at that time, you know, she was married, and old dude had 2 kids of his own, and my mom had 2 kids, and not the little sister that you met earlier, but you know, so my mom is supporting 6 people, including herself.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? And you know, so it's bred in me to keep doing it, to keep working. You know what I'm saying? And like, yeah, we experienced homelessness, but my mama never gave up, never stopped working. She worked the whole time. You know what I'm saying? And like, and so that's why like things get crazy, you know, whatever. But like I just keep pumping. I just keep pushing.
See, like those are the people that I like to help. Like, you know, I work at McDonald's, like right off of exit 44, and like it's bad for like crackheads and shit. And it's not even like that, but it's like those crackheads, they don't want to work.
Yeah.
And because like there's this like one panhandler, we've offered him a job, bro, and he's like, nah, I make way too much doing this. Since like we tried, and there was actually this like one dude, he came in, and he like, you know, most crackheads, they ask for like free food. Well, he came in, he like didn't even have $1, and he was wanting a cookie, like 2 cookies. It was like $1.07. He's like, oh man, I ain't got it. Walked out. I guess was trying to get some more money, and like 2 hours later, I got off work, and he was still like trying to get some money. So I went in, like got him some food and everything, got him those 2 cookies, because like, you know, if you actually like try to work and try to like better yourself, you know, people are gonna want to help you. But if you just like want to like live off of them, it's like, bro, you know, we don't want to help you.
Yeah, exactly, bro. You know, I mean, and I'm not a super religious person, but you know, my stepdad, I don't really talk about him that much, but he was a preacher. You know what I'm saying? So, man, there's been scriptures from the Bible that have been drilled in my head over and over again, and I'm not resentful for that, because it does give me a guideline, you know what I'm saying, to kind of live by, in the sense of, you know, to help me at least in my spirituality. But it, you know, it definitely says in the Bible that like God is not going to help a man that does not help himself. That only, you know what I'm saying, things don't move just by faith alone. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. You gotta put the work in to create, you know, that power behind that faith. You know what I'm saying? And like,
exactly.
Man, it's so interesting, man, just, you know, talking about, you know, beliefs and where everything is at, because I'm a weirdo, bro.
It's straight. I mean, like that, Asheville is just like that, but
no, that's real.
But that's what makes Asheville Asheville.
No, that's so real. Keep it weird. But yeah, I think everything's connected. The universal power, bro. We have like our own. We got our abilities to manipulate what we're going through, and you know, we do it without even knowing sometimes. Just some people are way better at doing it than others. That's kind of what I feel.
Exactly. I feel like the opportunities you get are like meant to be given to you, and then it's like it's your job whether to take it or not. And usually when you do take it, that's your like fate, you know.
Yeah, exactly. So, exactly. Yeah. Set up your own.
Oh yeah. So did you have any hobbies or interests as a kid?
Oh yeah, I mean, definitely was into music, definitely was into professional wrestling. I started taking Taekwondo when I was in the 2nd grade.
Damn, that's early.
Yeah, man, I've been kicking faces for a long time, bro. Like, legit.
I remember every time like the Taekwondo class would come to our school, you know, I'd like, you know, some things I'd be like, okay, you know, this is cool, and then other things I'm like, oh my gosh, like,
yeah, you know. No, that's real. But you know, I guess my mom knew, because I guess of the stature of my biological father, that like I was never gonna be like a giant dude, you know what I'm saying, and like so she was like, bro, at least you're gonna have to know how to fight. You're gonna have to learn how to handle yourself or something. And my mom is kind of like a classic tomboy too. You know what I mean? So she do all the things that you don't think traditionally, because we passed all those traditional stereotypes
Most
and stuff like that.
yeah.
But my mom, especially back in the day when I was growing up, did all the things that traditionally moms did not do.
Really?
You know what I'm saying? Oh my god, yeah. She was out there taking Taekwondo with me too.
Oh, for real?
It was bad, bro. Like.
So she was like one of those like cool moms.
Oh yeah, she was cool, but like I said earlier, she crazy.
She stayed on it.
yeah, you know. So, but definitely it was Taekwondo. And I had a really good instructor, Master Tracy Goodwin. Not only was it about the technique, it was about the discipline behind it. Everything that we were doing, which set up discipline within my house. You know what I'm saying? As far as for me, and this is me being an adult now, looking back in hindsight. But like Mr. Goodwin was the first person who told me I need to be wearing deodorant. You know what I'm saying? I learned that from Taekwondo. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, so just looking back, at all that, it's Taekwondo was life changing. I don't think I would be this person if it wasn't for that.
That's dope how something like that can change you like that.
Absolutely. I mean, man, I could talk to you forever about all my Taekwondo experiences. From the times where I felt like I was on top of the world in Taekwondo, from the times where I was being a little shit, and my mom, was letting my master know what was going on, and bro, my master would beat me up. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it set up that discipline. You know what I'm saying? Like, but yeah, highs and lows. But it really set up the structure for, striving and failing. Because definitely when it came to testing time, I know the technique. I know how to say the technique in Korean. I know how to count to whatever I gotta count to in Korean. I know how to, get here, boom, 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 boom. But then you gotta fight. Then you gotta apply the technique. You gotta do this, and then you gotta bring the power, because then you breaking boards. And this is not like the stuff that some of these people on the internet have been exposed when they faking and everything. Yeah. Like, bro, like I have busted the blood vessels in my heels so many times because I'm pulling my kick at the last minute because I'm scared about how much it's gonna hurt going through something simple like a board. So
when you do that, you have to you can't have zero hesitation. You just gotta go full force.
Full force. So this is the key that what I always tell people, and I don't know if I got it from Master Goodwin telling me, is that I'm not aiming if I'm gonna use it in the sense of how we would apply it in the real world, right? Mm-hmm. So if I'm gonna kick you in the face, I'm not gonna kick you in the face. I'm gonna kick you through your face. That's what it is. I'm not aiming for your cheek. Your right cheek. I'm literally aiming for your left cheek through your right cheek. You know what I'm saying? I'm coming through. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm coming all the way through, and it's the same thing with a punch. I'm not punching your nose. I'm punching the back of your head. That's what I'm punching for. You know what I'm saying?
Knock them all the way back.
Exactly. And I don't know if you know anything about the button, but that area down here, in your chin area, that creates that snap that cuts off that. Bruh. Once you know what you're doing, it's deadly. You gotta, but fights are always random. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You never know what another person on the street knows, so you always got to be careful. But exactly. You know what I mean? But that's the other part. You know what I'm saying? You can't. Like I said, it taught me to fail, and it taught me to keep trying. Another instance of just keep pushing. You know what I'm saying? Because there's been many times where I would go for like an axe kick or even a hammer fist or an elbow or a ridge hand or something, and when you think so hard in your body that you're about to go through and it just stops, boom, and that shit is just like real life. Like you think so hard, like, oh yeah, I'm about to do this shit, I'm about to succeed, and then sometimes you just run into a wall, and then instead of just stopping and never hitting that wall again, sometimes you gotta recoil and be like, all right, well, I'm gonna just hit harder next time.
Yeah. That's good advice.
It's just like life, bro. That's exactly. Bro. if people just would just take time to look at all of these situations when you're learning through life, bro.
Bro, I fuck with that. Like, cause I've actually been thinking about that like a lot with my podcast, cause the actually came up to like an obstacle that like blocked me for like 2 weeks. It was like at first it had something to do with like my software that I was using.
Mm-hmm.
So then I had to like go to another software, had to wait a couple days, and then after that YouTube wouldn't like let me upload my videos for some reason. So then it was like I had to deal with that. So yeah, like I don't know, I just like thought about that, and like I remember at that I was actually thinking about like, you know, just like ending it. I was like, man, I don't even know if I want to do this, but I was like, nah, because in a couple months I'm gonna think about like doing this shit again, and it's like I'm gonna have to like restart.
Yeah, and I mean, bro, sometimes it takes that because I mean, a recoil, you know, just because we're talking about, you know, the martial arts and everything, there's a chamber. You do the execute the move and then you rechamber. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to bring it back to where you was. All right, so here is where I was setting up my aim. This is where my aim went wrong. So let me go back to this little clutch place. You know what I'm saying? And like sometimes you don't. It would be dumb, you know, to people always like trying to hit the same wall and doing it over and over again and not making any adjustments. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes you gotta like pull back, gauge it, and be like, all right, what the hell am I doing wrong? You know what I'm saying? Then you be like, okay, let me add this up. Let me fix my wrist. Let me maybe not flex my hip so much, you know. And it'd be the same thing, like even in life and entertainment. And I don't know much about being a podcast producer. I have, you know, I am part of a podcast, but I don't produce the podcast myself. It's the Urban Comic Wrestling podcast. It's the one with me. It's Spaceman Jones. But I'm a personality on the podcast. I don't produce the podcast, so I don't know honestly all the hardships that Spaceman Jones goes into putting all of it together and, you know, splicing it down. Like now I do know video editing, you know what I'm saying? So I can deal with that, but you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes you just gotta be like, all right, I'm gonna just hold on to this because you got a nice ass mic. Where I'm gonna hold on to this mic.
Yeah.
I'm gonna figure out what you know what software I'm gonna use, and then we gonna pump the shit. You know what I'm saying? Then,
bro.
But yeah, I mean, it's just that I just been looking at that. I have been involved in things like that my entire life. Like I said, watching my mom struggle and being 15 and having to, you know, give my mom money because I'm the only other person in the house with an extra income. You know what I'm saying? And my stepdad walking around praying for something. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, bro, you the one who told me about the faith and works thing, bro, but you're not doing nothing. But you know, it's just you know, and then the whole Taekwondo thing, you know, and I think it really set me up. It really did set me up for success because, you know, the homelessness thing came around, and you know, me and my family got separated for a little bit of time. Like, and I mean by like my brothers and my sisters. Like my younger sister went to her dad. My older brothers and sisters went to their family, and I literally was the only person stuck in this home situation because I'm with my mom. My stepdad adopted me, and I literally had nowhere else to go. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's just like, but I stayed in school. Not a single person who I was in school with knew that I was homeless or anything. Yeah,
that's dope.
You know what I mean? And like, so I just keep pumping or pushing, and I don't think for any reason that I'm better than anybody at all. Because sometimes I be telling my story, and when I hear it, it sounds like I'm being boastful, and it's not even that at all. It's just more or less like I feel so fucking lucky. I feel so lucky, bro. That and knowing that there's another person that might be in this situation, especially because I'm a caseworker and I see it often. You know what I'm saying? Like a person that's homeless not because of anything they did. They're just an extra person living with their family. You homeless just because your mom is homeless. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't. That doesn't have to set you up for anything. You know what I'm saying? And like if what your next move was to go, all right, bet I'm gonna get my own place and I'm gonna go to housing, I'm gonna get my own house through housing and that's fine. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with you making those steps, but you gotta. I always feel like you gotta make a step today to be better than you was yesterday.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So.
Exactly. I fuck with that. I know. What was it back in like? Shit, I'm trying to think about like what I was just about to say. Oh well. Anyways, I done forgot about it.
It's all good, bro.
What was your music taste as a kid?
Music taste as a kid was everywhere, man. I think definitely, growing up, my granddad listened to a lot of jazz. My grandmother was a soprano, and she used to sing all kind of like classic songs. You know what I'm saying? So then, in the time that I was growing up and listening to music, I had already heard like Blackstreet, which is like R&B music, and like Cameo and all this other stuff. I had already been, kind of.
So you've been introduced
Introduced to
at an early age.
Early. You know what I'm saying? Kenny G and all this. I could identify who was on the saxophone, you know what I'm saying, whether it was Kenny G or somebody else, you know what I'm saying?
Dope.
Like, yeah, because it was just the way that they played and the way that they breathed into the thing. And it was just me picking it up, not even thinking that I was gonna even be connected with music later, because it was just, me and my cousins, we used to love Backstreet Boys. My mom even got a video of us pretending to be the Backstreet Boys. So we would get together, pretend, and do the little dances and sing and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we did that kind of stuff. But I definitely found my groove in music during my later teen years while I was in Florida. Definitely more Caribbean based music. Because around that time, 2002, 2003, reggaeton was real big.
What's that?
So it's like, it's basically like reggae, but reggaeton, which is Hispanic reggae or like Spanish reggae. You know what I mean? So, so it's very much like reggae, but it has a certain boom. It's got this rhythm in it, and it definitely draws from salsa and bachata and merengue like influences, but still keeping that Caribbean, because Caribbean music is Afrocentric, so still keeping that Caribbean Afrocentric influence with the drums and the toms and the more tribal essence of what the beats were. So where I was really into like this group called Calle 13 and like Don Omar and fucking Daddy Yankee and Zion E. Lennox, just a lot of music that, because my Spanish is so bad now that if I put it on now that I would be so lost, you know what I'm saying? But back then, bro, it was everything, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was all over the place, just in house parties, just and bro, if anybody knows back in the day, bro, there was this one move that chicks used to do, and it was just like they had they legs about shoulder width apart, knees bent, and they would just take their hips and just go from side to side. That's all they do all night. But it's all because the same music, all the music had the same beat. So all night the girls, so you be spending all night like.
I bet your hips would get like wore out.
Oh my god, everything is worn out. Your arms, you just like, everything is just done.
Oh
bro.
My god.
So it's good old days, man. I miss Florida and that melting pot of culture like so much. Especially during the times like now. I mean,
most definitely.
I mean, it's clear that racism is everywhere, and we're seeing it a lot more now.
A bunch of Karens.
But a bunch of Karens. But you know what I'm saying? Like it definitely didn't feel that way when I was in Florida. It definitely, the more I always, and I could be, people probably hate that I say this, but I always say the South stops in Jacksonville. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really southern in Jacksonville. You know what I'm saying? Like, just what you think of the South. Once you get past Jacksonville, it starts turning more tropical. Just in climate and in look and in everything. You know what I'm saying? Jacksonville is like a swamp, and that's just the swamplands. You know what I'm saying? That's just that is the way that the land is made. It's a swamp, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not talking about the people, I'm not talking about anything, I'm just talking about the land itself. It's a swamp. So, but so it's south. It's like the mixture when you get the southern climates mixing with the tropical climates. What happens? You know what I'm saying?
Damn,
So
is it like really humid over there?
oh god, yeah. Yeah. So like anything that smells, because like they have a plant there or something like that. So anything that smells, it like just lingers in the air forever. And it's just there. It's like living in it's like living near the Canton paper mill.
Oh
like,
no, bro. No.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I don't even know how people can like live in like Canton right there. I guess you just don't smell it.
Yeah.
If you live there.
I guess they get used to it. I guess.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it must. But like, there's never been a time that I have been to Jacksonville that I didn't smell it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, never been a time. Never been. And I haven't been to Jacksonville that many times, but every time I'm there, it just smells different to me. I don't know what it is. Like I said, much respect to the people of Jacksonville. This is just my personal experience with the air in the land of Jacksonville. The people of Jacksonville are great. But I always say that the South stops in Jacksonville, and I'm just a little bit more tropic, and I feel like I had been exposed to a bit more culture and openness and open-mindedness, and you know what I'm saying?
That's definitely.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I feel like Asheville has like a wide variety of culture, you know? Like, I mean, it's all like, we all still have that kind of like weird vibe, but it's like, we're all different, so that's what makes it weird.
Yeah. So. Since you're saying that, and I'm not saying that Asheville is not culture for, at all. I think, it's interesting because when I went downtown during the riots. Not riots, I would say, but during the protests. You know what I'm saying? I went downtown during the protests. And I was so shocked to see how diverse all the people were that were on the field. You know what I'm saying? That were just standing beside me. You know what I'm saying? Because I come from I live in a different part of the city, you know what I'm saying? So I wasn't able to come through with my homeboys and my homegirls. So I'm literally just a speck in between a whole bunch of people, you know what I'm saying? And it's like Asheville is an extremely diverse people, but the diverse people and the people who believe in the diversity, who love the diversity, who embrace the diversity and the culture that creates are not the people that are in the power. So I'm not gonna say it doesn't do anything, because there are changes that are being made, and shout out to the people who have recently, made reparations be a thing. Which, as a citizen, I'm trying to figure out what that actually looks like. And I think they are too. But at the same time, it's like, if some of these amazing people that were there to help us protest were some of the people that were running for these offices and had the ability to make some of these decisions, we probably would be in a better situation. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So,
but see, I feel like my generation basically, is especially me. I don't know anything about politics. Right. So it's like, I don't know. I feel like yeah, I don't know, what I hear on the internet, it makes sense, but then it's like, when I get into the politics with my dad and shit, it's like, I don't know none of that shit, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I just believe in whatever makes sense, equal rights, obviously it makes sense that everybody should have equal rights, just shit like that.
Yeah, no, big facts. And I'll be, you said it first, but I'll be the second to say it's so confusing. I don't get it all the time. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I appreciate people in the town like Michael Martinez and Shanika Smith and Amy and I'm drawing a blank when she does piano. I believe her last name's Romney. But when they post, and there's another young lady, Kim, but other people in the community, but when they post about some of the political things, letting us know the impact that they're having, whether it be positive or negative, so that people like me can get a layman's term review of what's actually happening. Because sometimes, they're using dialogue that connects to me in a different way. You know what I'm saying?
I don't even understand half the dialogue.
Exactly. You saying things to me and I'm like, I don't know what that means in the terms of politics. I know what it means in the terms of either music or entertainment or even gang. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But and I've ever been in a gang, but just street talk. I know what some of these things mean in street talk, but when it comes to politics, you hear certain things and you're like, I don't even know how that affects me.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And so, and I think it goes back to, my mom being a teacher, and she talks all the time about, how there are certain things that aren't exposed to more urban kids because they aren't seen as not necessarily a necessity, but they're not seen as a requirement. They're not seen as an asset within the political environment because it's like, oh, you're just making a blanket statement. Not saying that she would say any of this or that she's heard that, but she would say a teacher or a counselor would say, well, you're from here and you look like this and da da da. Why would you want to do something like that? It's going to be hard for you anyway. You know what I mean? It's like, well, as a counselor, you should be letting me know, okay, it's going to be difficult, but we're going to work through it, and these are the ways that we're going to do it. You know what I mean? And like, so there's been so much of that over the years that has deterred, people from
what they're actually like want to be
and what they want to do and everything. And I'm big on exposure, with my son, you know what I'm saying? So like I don't always have him with me when I'm going on wrestling events or when I'm in the studio or when I'm doing anything else like that, but he definitely is exposed to those things, you know what I'm saying? So like he's going to be able, I'm a firm believer that you take nature, nurture, and a child's interest and you put that together and you bring them up in that. You know what I'm saying? And like every superstar that has been around has shown that basically kind of works. You know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly.
I understand the nature of my kid because my kid is me and my son's mom, and I understand the nature of both of us. You know what I'm saying? And even though my son's mom and I are not together, we're both great people, and so my son has that in him.
Genes.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And then the nurture is everything that I'm contributing on the outside of whatever is into him. So he's all the things he's seen me do, how I'm treating him, how I'm treating other people, how I'm treating his mom, how I'm treating my mom, how I'm treating his sisters and cousins and all the other people that he sees me doing. And then he's got, if he has an interest in music, if he shows that, I'm like, bet, let's get more instruments around the house. You know what I'm saying? If you go to my house, you will see farm animals and trucks and trains and all kind of stuff. And one major reason because I'm a huge kid and I like to buy toys. But the other thing is because my son has shown some interest in it. You know what I mean? And so I'm I don't even know how we got on this subject, but like I feel like it's super important to just take a child and all those things are a part of them.
Exactly. Like,
and
it's crazy that you talk about that because like one of my like interviews, we actually got on this like subject, but it was like when I have a kid, I'm gonna like basically anything that like they want, I'm gonna like expose it to them. Like if they say like they want to try this, I'm like, all right, try it. And if you don't like it, okay, at least you tried it.
At least you tried it. That's right. That's right. At least you tried it.
So so going on to your career, what came first, the music or wrestling?
So as far as like me actually doing things myself, I started wrestling first. I started wrestling when I was in high school. I was about 16 or 17 years old. And
was that like the team wrestling or was that like the?
No, I actually started for Dory Funk.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Damn, 16.
Yeah, man, 16 or 17. I don't know exactly how old I was. I know I was in the 11th grade.
I mean, well, that's still pretty early. Like I've heard about like, most people that like get into that kind of stuff, like they do it after high school. So
yeah,
for you to do it in high school is really dope.
I know a kid that's in wrestling. He's not even 16 yet.
Damn.
Yeah.
No,
this
so
kid,
he's early.
His name is Jungle Boy, and it's not the Jungle Boy from AEW. We've got the we always call it the quote unquote original Jungle Boy, but he's a kid that's part of a promotion in Tennessee called School of Morton, which is where I started wrestling again after. And we'll probably talk about that later. But he's I want to see that kid is 13 years old.
Damn.
And he's been there ever since I have. He was there before I was. So I want to say he was like 7.
Damn, and he's
something. Yeah. He was a kid.
He's wanting that shit. Damn, that's actually dope how he's like...
doing 450s off the top rope. That's
450s. What's that?
So if you're jumping off the top rope and you do a full front flip, that's a 360, right?
Yeah.
So you do a front flip and then a half one and land flat. So this kid is doing a full front flip and landing flat on people on the mat.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I can't do that shit.
Wasn't even double digits in age yet, bro. At the School of Morton, and man, my relationship with the School of Morton is another subject. Shout out to Ricky Morton, one of the best people that's ever walked the face of the earth. School of Morton is one of the best places to train. They have some of the best training ever. You just gotta protect your energy while you're there. That's all I'm gonna say.
Why you say that?
Just gotta protect your energy while you're there. That's all I'm gonna say.
All right. Bet. So, what made you combine rap to wrestling?
The disconnect between my rap fans and my wrestling fans.
Okay.
That was besides the fact that if you think about it, wrestling and rap has always been connected.
Mm-hmm,
you know what I'm saying? So, promos that wrestlers were kicking back in the days before rap was even a thing is basically what rappers are doing now. It's basically us talking up ourselves. You know what I'm saying? It's, Ric Flair, I'm the, 15-time. Woo! World heavyweight of the world. Don't nobody shine like me. Don't nobody da.
Mm-hmm.
Ric Flair was even going across and talking about him doing things with other people's girls. We do that in hip hop.
Exactly.
But he did it first.
Exactly.
He did it before hip hop was even a thing.
Is that why Migos respect him so much?
I mean, bro, that's why everybody respects him. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you know what I'm saying? But Ric Flair was always known. Now Ric Flair was not the first Nature Boy, but he's synonymous with that title because of how he carried it. It was the jewels, it was the style, it was the high style, and wheeling and dealing, and that, all the things that he was doing, and jet riding, all that other stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And it just so happened he was living it too, because he was good with his money, good business wise, and all the other good stuff too. You know what I'm saying? So having the disconnect and having me being a wrestler and me being a rapper, and then having my rap fans being like, yo, that wrestling shit is crazy, bro. I can't believe you doing some shit like that.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But they know who Ric Flair is. They know who Macho Man is. They know who Hulk Hogan is. Bro, there's not a single person alive right now who does not know who Stone Cold Steve Austin is.
Facts. Or John Cena.
Or John Cena. Or The Rock.
Exactly.
These are all people who came from wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Wrestling culture permeates so much. You know what I'm saying? And I always say, wrestling is real life. Wrestling is life. You know what I'm saying? And so
it's lifestyle.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So the connection with the Attitude Era, being a badass, saying how you feel and doing all that, it's just it is hip hop. It's exactly what hip hop is. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Now, everybody's representation of themselves and how you feel about yourself and how you represent yourself is different, which is what makes hip hop culture what it is. You know what I'm saying? And what it was supposed to be. Everybody's different. We all got representation. We all want to speak out loud and be proud about who we are and all that other stuff. You know what I'm saying? So having somebody come up to you and be like, bro, your music is fire, cuz. Yo, but talk to me about that wrestling shit, bro. What is that about?
Exactly.
And they have almost this disgusted look on their face, and I would just tell them, just come to one of my shows, just come. And anybody that ever came was like, bro, this is actually kind of dope.
Bro, actually, now that you speak on that, next show that you do, I definitely want to come to it because I want to see how it is.
Oh yeah, for sure, bro. I mean, and you'll come in no charge for sure. Got you on the list. But you know what I'm saying? People who actually take the time be like, yo, it's kind of dope. They be like, yo, I kind of remember it when I was a kid, and you know what I'm saying? I remember my grandparents watching it, and really thinking that shit was real, but it's, yo, I don't know, bro. It's the fanfare, it's the energy that's coming from it, and that's exactly what it is. You know what I'm saying? Kayfabe and kayfabe is a term that's, we use that as the word to talk about the veil between the wrestling world and the real life world. So, but some people believe kayfabe was destroyed a long time ago. You know what I'm saying? People understand now that when they found out that you can't gamble on wrestling because it's predetermined, that there's obviously something working in there. You know what I'm saying? So kayfabe died back then.
Mm-hmm.
But the kayfabe for me is the connection that I can get to you without me, you know what I'm saying, without me actually really being hurt. Now granted, like I was saying earlier, like things hurt. Now trust me, I'm not saying that they don't hurt. But if I get slammed on the mat and I look at you and I hold my hand out to you, you as a person, psychologically, there's something in your brain. I don't know why it happens. I just know, and this comes from Ricky Morton just kind of teaching us the psychology in wrestling, because wrestling is so psychological that it's ridiculous. It's a live action, like it's a live action like novel kind of, you know what I'm saying? It's a story, you know. So you got it when you're reading these books, you got to be emotionally connected and emotionally involved and to turn that page again, because if you don't care what's on the next page, you just close it. It's the same thing at wrestling. We're just doing that. So something about me laying on the ground and me being a person and you being a person and me asking you for help makes you have sympathy for me. Now, you might not for a single bit be like, I'm actually going to get up there and help this motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But something is, how do you be like, damn, is he hurt? Like, he asking me for help. Like, you know what I'm saying? And so using that to
get to
connect with folks, kids, bro. They're in a whole nother world, bro.
Them kids like think that shit's like real as fuck.
Oh,
they
bro,
be like, oh fuck, like
no thinking. They know it's real. Exactly. They know it's real. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. You cannot tell them that it's not real. Yeah. I remember somebody told me that it wasn't real. I was like, bro, you're stupid.
Yeah, bro. I mean, but that's why, you know, the thing. But you know, like I said, it's a work. You know, to the extent, like I said, there's a difference between, you know, a working punch and then, you know, some strikes. You know, when I'm kicking some folks, depending on where I'm hitting them at, I'm definitely gonna hit them. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Like, and you know, there are no and I don't mean this in any sense of the word of anybody's sexuality, but there are no punks in professional wrestling. You got to be tough. You have to be. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
People think they're gonna come in because it's not real, and I'm making really big quotes that they're not gonna get hit. That's not gonna happen, bro.
You obviously gonna get hit. You obviously gonna get jumped on.
Yeah. And if you can't take it, you gotta go. I've seen many people take that first bump, and like I told you earlier too, I always tell people that's like the base point of your pain. The first bump you ever gonna take will probably be the most painful bump that you'll ever take. Damn. But I've seen people take that first bump and never bump again.
Damn.
Because it's just like.
So what about the people that have done it? Have you like seen like any success in them?
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm definitely not the best person out there. I'm definitely not. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are some amazing people that are out there. I mean, just off the bat, one of my, you know, best homies, and I'm not saying that because he's one of my best homies, but Draco comes from the School of Morton. He was wrestling before he was at the School of Morton, but he's been there, you know, since I've been there too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And he's an amazing worker. Alex Monroe, Jeff Jason Blythe, Jeff Miller, Jason Blythe, the kid I was talking about earlier, Jungle Boy. There's a guy there named Ricky Brewer. He goes under the name of Ricky Dooley. You know, there's Ryan Strange. You know, and those are just folks that I respect from the school. You know what I'm saying? And that's just a few of them that I can name at the moment. You know what I'm saying? Like, just a few that I can name at the moment. And it's unfortunate because they're not able to work in other places right now. You know what I'm saying?
Why not?
I really don't know why. But again, I'm not really at liberty to talk about that situation only because I don't fully understand that personal situation. I just know that they work solely for that company, but they are extremely talented and can make money anywhere in these companies. You know what I'm saying? Because they just get it. But outside of that, I mean, Chase Owens, who I've had the pleasure of working with a couple times, is a well-known Ring of Honor and New Japan pro wrestler, in the group called the Bullet Club. He's close with Ricky Morton, and Ricky Morton trained him. He's extremely successful. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of folks that are around. There's a lot of promoters that are out and about in the area. That are doing great things. Shout out to Axton Ray, and his folks. And shout out to Tony Givens and his folks and everybody he's working with. But yeah, I mean, there are a lot of cool things that are happening in the region, and we're just trying to bring the territory situation back as far as it comes to the wrestling. Because WWE has kind of changed the landscape a lot. Because they bought out a lot of the territories early back in the day, and that dried up. The supply of wrestling, and so for a long time you could either get WWE wrestling or you could get mud show wrestling, and there was really nothing in between.
What was mud show wrestling?
Mud show wrestling is like that backyard, like terrible. They're just a couple of guys in like and shorts and knee pads. You know what I'm saying?
Was it like the old YouTube type?
Yeah,
videos?
bro. Like
I remember I used to watch those shit.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Like okay, like so, that was the only thing other than like WWE.
Exactly, and you know what I mean. What I'm saying, like the N1 shorts and knee pads, it's like there's like a difference in the look in the costume. The people coming out, they've got like spandex shorts on, or they got
it's like professional.
You know what I mean? And then you got some people come through with their basketball shorts and some knee pads and like combat boots that they bought from some cat boots that they bought from Walmart, and you're like, no. This is not right. Like, what are you doing for the business? And there have been a few things in between. You know what I'm saying? And some people, and definitely giving all respect to any of the folks who put the pavement down before us. School of Morton being one of them, being a smaller promotion, but that is being successful in their area, helping us know and helping us see. I mentioned Tony Givens earlier. He's got a promotion called Innovate. Action Low's got a promotion called Pile Driver Pro. There are a lot of promotions that are around, and that, like I said, that's just a few, that are showing that we have our areas. There's, what I'm saying, we have our loyal clientele, we have our demographic, we have all of that. And, every one of our wrestling styles is a little bit different. You know what I mean? Yeah. So we're trying to bring it back and just put more exposure on the wrestling business, because it's not all that generic WWE stuff, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I feel like the underground stuff is like more interesting because you haven't like seen that yet. Like obviously WWE, everybody's seen like at least like one episode of WWE, and they're like, this is like the typical professional wrestling. But when you go to like the underground shit, like like you got, it's like it's different because like this, you actually got music involved with it, like people performing, and it's like really different.
And we are basically R-rated. One of our mottos is "Do not bring your motherfucking kids." Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Now we have executed a kid-friendly show. It was our first kid-friendly show whenever we did the community event for Hillcrest, which was a huge success. Shout out to Ready Red and all the folks at Hillcrest that helped us make it a success. But for the most part, no, it gets straight lit and ratchet all the way up in there. I'm talking about it's bad. Like, when we were writing the kid friendly show, you have no idea how many times we had to go. No, we can't say that.
No, we can't say that.
No, can't say that. Scratch that out. Let's start back over again. How can we say we gonna whoop? Like
I'm gonna whoop yo.
Yeah. But so man, and it's so we have officially been in operation for a year already. Our official year was July 20th. That was the date of our first show that we actually had. Now, granted, conception and planning and all this stuff started prior to that. But we're just gonna go from the date of our first show.
Mm-hmm.
We've learned so much.
Oh yeah.
In that time
It's all
span.
about learning.
Yeah. We knew we wanted it to be adult oriented, so we told all the boys, like, you know, hey, free reign. Nothing's off limits. You just can't say the N word.
Yeah.
Just don't say the N word. You know, free reign. By the end of the show, we had to make a lot of apologies.
Damn.
Because we didn't not necessarily know that free reign to them meant all kind of. They said every other slur except for the N word, and I was like, no, no, they're going to destroy us from the inside. But so it was definitely a learning curve because we were like, hold up.
Can't be doing that.
You can't be doing that. Yeah, like we meant everything goes except for the, you know, that stuff. You know what I mean? So, you know, it was truly scary.
Yeah.
But you know, but we've come a long way. And now we know how to give instructions about how far we can go when it comes to us pushing the envelope, because we want to do that. Keep it exciting, keep it interesting, and make it something that people haven't seen in wrestling either in a long time or ever before. You know what I mean?
Exactly. You gotta bring something new to the table every time.
Exactly.
So, tell me about a typical wrestling night.
Typical wrestling night.
Yeah.
Man.
When does it start, and when does like shit actually start happening? And all
okay.
those details.
So I'm gonna talk about a UCW night because I know UCW nights like the back of my hand. You know, we do our setup during the daytime. Depending on the venue, setup is generally around 3:00. So, ring crew will come through and set up the ring around 3:00. We'll test run lights. We'll test run audio. We'll test run, you know, footage if we have screens and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
The boys who are working generally will start piling into the venue and the event around 6:00. The event will start. The doors will open around 7:30, 8:00, depending on if there's a line or not. If there's a line, then we'll open the doors early.
Mm-hmm.
And generally, there has been. The only time there hasn't been a line was when we had our very first show, and we had our very first show at Shakey's on the river. And the way that their entrance is that it's like free flow kind of. You know what I mean? So there never really was a line because there's so many different places you can get in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At our most recent venue, which was the Mothlight, shout out to the Mothlight. Sad to hear that they're closing their doors. But
forever.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. The owners decided to not reopen, but it's okay. I hope whatever that they're doing in the future is successful, and I wish them the best of luck. And
Mm-hmm.
I want to say thank you for all the opportunities that you've given us at UCW, and we won't forget it. But at the Mothlight, because there's just the one way in, definitely there was always a line, and you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So we opened the door early. We've even had a wait time during the show for people trying to get in. Yeah, the top wait time was an hour to get into the show.
Damn.
While our show was going. Yeah. So.
Bruh, and then people would still like wait.
People still wait. It's because they were at capacity and we were at capacity and they just couldn't get in. They
Damn.
just wait. They just wait to get in.
They just wait. Hell
One
yeah.
in, one out.
Damn. See, like, I guess if I were like go to a show, I would want to go early, right?
Yeah.
Bet.
You definitely want to get in that line or start pulling up around 7:30, 7:45 because doors open at 8.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's technically when the doors should open. But if there's a line, I don't want to delay the show waiting for people to get ticketed in because it's very difficult, especially for how the setup was for the Mothlight to have people ticketing in and to be able to disperse because of where the boys had to come from for the entrance.
Yeah.
All that would have been happening all at the same time. and it's really difficult to maneuver because
Oh
somebody
yeah.
could be standing in the wrong place, and you know what I mean. And
Yeah, you can't control like where somebody's
exactly.
standing
I
at.
run up the steps to go interfere in the match and clothesline a lady. You know what I'm saying? That would be terrible. You know what I'm saying? Reputation gone.
Oh my god.
But yeah, you know.
At least you might go viral with that.
But yeah,
though.
God, but all viral is not good.
Oh shit. Yeah.
All viral is
Oh,
not good.
we seen like a lot of that in 2020.
Oh my God, yeah. Too many people going viral for the wrong reason.
Exactly.
But yeah, you know, so but you know, typical wrestling night, doors will open at 8:00. Show would start at 9. And then, you know, we have had remarks that we give a lot of show for the dollar that we're charging. We've had to increase the amount of our ticket price because of request. You know, just our tickets sell out so fast. You know what I mean? And then and like the wait times and all the other stuff we've had to increase. But then now, because of the limited capacity, in order for us to bring you a great show, we have to increase the ticket price, because if I could fit 100 more people in there, then I could cut it down. But
so you gotta do what you gotta do to like improve the business, you know, like.
Yeah, and like I said too, protect our people.
Exactly.
We gotta protect our people. You know
exactly.
We can't be for the culture and putting them in danger by having them, you know, in a building somewhere where they're not safe, and where their safety as far as the pandisnai. Because I know we ain't supposed to be mentioning that on. I don't know. You said you're on YouTube, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I know we can't mention on that because they'll demonetize you real quick.
Wait, for real?
Yeah, bro. We ain't supposed to say COVID. Can't say that thing.
Dang, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, they'll demonetize you, bro.
Damn. Well, shit, I wish I'd known that before, like I did my other interviews, but they ain't did shit yet.
They
so.
Hey, cool. You landing on the radar for now. I know, bro. I ain't saying nothing.
Hey, bro. I'm actually glad you told me that.
I'm T.I. in this situation. I ain't telling you nothing.
So how do you say it? I'm gonna start saying it like you, like the Coviezo.
Coviznai.
Coviznai.
Coviznai and the Pendiznai. I got that shit from Scrappy. From Little Scrappy. He used to, bro, me and my ex, man, we used to watch Love and Hip Hop all the damn time, and he used to be on there talking about his biz naive and all that. Yo, bro, it's bro. So whenever hey, whenever you can't mention something that COVID naive, that pandemic naive.
This is dope. I'll fuck with that,
bro.
I'll fuck with that. So, do you have any like memorable nights?
I have so many, man.
Tell me like one or two of them.
So, you know, I wrestled I had wrestled for the school of Morton for a very long time, and I was their heavyweight champion for a very long time, and I was the heavyweight champion for a little over a year, I think. And at that time, Ricky Morton was having one of the most exciting times of his life. He's on tour with AEW, and he's, you know, him and his tag team partner, because they're wrestling legends, the Rock and Roll Express. They are now the 5-time NWA tag team champions of the world. And Ricky Morton is 60-something years old. It is he's an amazing person in general, but what he's capable of doing in the ring and just how he understands.
Wait, so he still wrestles and he's like 60? Oh, bro, what the fuck?
Oh yeah.
He's 60 years old and he's still
I'll wrestle you, and he'll blow you up. You'll be blown up. You'll be tired. He'll be like, well, don't tell me you're blown up, are you? You ain't blown up already, are you? You know, it's just like, so the heart beating out of your chest, and Ricky's like, no, I did 500 Japanese squats this morning. You know, like, you're like, damn, Ricky.
That's good that he pushes you all.
Oh yeah, man, you can't, yeah, but you know, it is what it is, but you know, having him give you a compliment on your match, it's a highlight. You know what I'm saying? He ended up coming to me. He said I got a phone call, and it was his wife, and everybody knows Ricky Morton loves his wife. So you know, Andrew's calling, so you gotta answer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he said, but so he goes, but I didn't see the finish, and that's just like everybody's big thing. Really is like, you know, the match can be good, but if the finish is bad, then it takes away from the entire situation. You know, and he let me know. He said, you know, as soon as I hung up and I was walking back to the ring, that was when you guys finished, and he said I heard the finish. I didn't need to see it.
He said, I didn't.
And he
Damn.
said, and he was like, I just want to tell you, good job. Whatever you did out there, keep doing it. Good job. And that's like a highlight to me because a lot of times, you know, I'm a student. I'm still learning. I say that all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though I have a promotion, even though, you know, my business partner and I, we run a promotion, and I'm still learning. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, to have somebody like that to give you that feedback, you're like,
it's like
bruh, you can
pretty
have
rewarding.
Yeah, hell yeah, you can have this title back. I don't need none of this gold and steel. I don't need none of that. What you just gave me was worth way more. You know what I mean? Bro. So, and then, you know, something like that coming from, you know, a superior and somebody that you know, want to impress. But then, we were out of town. We were in Georgia. It was the first time that we had ever been in this building before, and me and this guy named Sick Rick, we had a crazy match. It was ridiculous. Like, and, you know, the crowd is at the School of Morton has gotten excited, and they've gotten, you know, really enthusiastic. But a "This is awesome" chant is something that is iconic in wrestling. The "This is awesome" kind of deal, you know, and they kind of repeat that. But as far as like our industry, the indie industry, you would see that, but not really at our school, not really at our shows. Like, people, like I said, people get excited, people get, you know, really into the action that's going on, you know, whenever we were having our shows. But at this particular show in Georgia, I got a "This is awesome" chant out of me and Sick Rick's match, bro. And it was unreal to the point where I literally just had to stop. I literally had to stop what I was doing, and I literally just dropped everything and just looked around to kind of take it in, because you just don't know. You're just like, oh, is this real? And like, it was cool because it was the first time my little sister had ever got to see me wrestle in person, so she was in the crowd as well. You know what I mean? So she was, you know, she was like, bro, you're a megastar, and I was like, nope, not at all. You know, like, I'm just randomly wrestling in this little ass town, you know. But you know, getting that chant, you know, at the end of the night too, you know, they've seen so much wrestling up there, you know what I'm saying? I mean, in the 6th or the 7th match, you know, you've seen everybody that works with us is amazing. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter what show I've been on, I've always been curated along with great talent. You know what I'm saying? So, it makes you nervous when you're the last match. You're like, what the hell can I do? How am I supposed to beat that? You know? But you know, but
if it pushes you.
And that's exactly what it did. You know what I'm saying? Me and Rick basically had to throw out everything that we thought we knew was going to happen in the match and literally just go at it.
Damn. And that's dope.
Yeah. It's available on YouTube to see.
Oh, for real?
When people watch the match, people are always like, was y'all fighting? And I was like, hell yeah, I was fighting. In that match, no lie, I was literally fighting for my life.
Really?
Bro, I thought that man was trying to kill me. I was like, whoa, homie, what is your problem?
Oh my god.
Yeah. He got crazy in that.
So was that like one like the only experiences like where you've had like that?
I mean, I've had some really cool experiences. I mean, I've had a couple matches with my boy Draco that have not only upgraded me as a wrestler and my work rate and everything else like that, but have been bangers to the audience. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So I've had some really really great wrestling experience, and I always count it to me being really lucky. I've been in the right place at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fortunate because I speak well, so I'm good at talking myself into situations. So I can introduce myself, and you automatically look like, okay, got a decent head on the shoulders. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so, and thank God for speech class, because
Facts.
I had a bad lisp when I was a kid. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
So, you know, my mom had me in speech therapy and all kind of stuff. So, you know, thank God for that. But like, you know, I just been so lucky to be put in these positions. Not many people can say they've been trained by one legend. Better yet, two.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And
wait, you've been trained by 2 legends?
Dory Funk was the first one when I started when I was 16, and then Ricky Morton, the second one.
Oh, okay. Damn, I thought it was on like Ricky Morton.
Dory, 2 legends. They're both in the WWE Hall of Fame.
Damn.
Both
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, they're both
That's
Hall
dope.
of Fame wrestlers. And then, you know, one of the main trainers that are there, I mentioned his name earlier. His name is Ryan Strange, and you know, many people who are in the business probably won't recognize his name if they're in this area, and if they're in like the Eastern Tennessee area,
Mm-hmm.
and they're in wrestling. If they don't know Ryan Strange, and they're under a rock. But he, when it comes to technique and teaching and all this other stuff, it's
He's
just
got
so
all.
good. It's so good coming from, and he's
So
a big dude.
Is he a teacher?
Yeah, he's one of the teacher, one of the instructors at School of Morton.
Okay.
His dad James Strange actually owns the School of
Oh,
Morton.
damn.
Yeah.
So was his dad like a wrestler as well?
Yeah, his dad was a wrestler as well. So
Yeah.
Ryan Strange, and that was going to be my point, has been in wrestling his entire life.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? So it's literally you know what I'm saying? Not like a lifetime of knowledge, because he's only, you know, 23 or something like that years old, but he's been living wrestling longer than people have been doing their professional careers. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So there's knowledge, and he tells you like he's still learning too, and that's what I always say. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm still learning. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
like,
You can never learn
yeah,
too
you
much.
can, yeah, exactly. You know, and techniques change, things get better, things, you know what I'm saying? Well, I found this works a little bit better, and this works for your body style, this works for this and that. You know what I mean? So, you know, I've taken so much from the school as far as, you know, knowledge is concerned, that that is in part, you know, it can, I can't ever repay them for that kind of information. So.
Oh yeah. So let's talk about performances. Have you ever like performed at one of your own shows, or have
Oh,
you
yeah. Me and Spaceman headlined our own first show.
yeah. I mean, that's dope though.
Yeah. We wanted to capitalize because, you know, I haven't done too much musically recently, but prior to this year, I had been pretty active musically, especially in the city, and doing, you know, high quality music along with high quality visuals, so music videos and stuff like that. And then so I kind of established a reputation of quality. You know what I'm saying? Like, regardless of who sees it, and if they're a fan of my music, you know, whether they were a fan or not, they always said, well, it looks great and it sounds great. You know what I mean? So, you know, it is what it is on that front. So we had already had, and you know, Spaceman Jones is Spaceman Jones, and Spaceman Jones and the Motherships, they have their own following too. So we both had the decent following. We said, you know, in order for us to market this and to catch the people who want to be involved, since I was already wrestling for the School of Morton when I was rapping, people already knew. They were like, yo, if you ever got a show that's close by, just let me know. It's like, well, okay, we'll bet. So when we put the first show together, we were like, who should we have to do the rap part? And it just kind of seemed obvious. Like, well, it's our first show, and it's our people saying, like, when you're going to have a show, then let us know, then why not? But we played it smart and didn't put just me and Spaceman. We actually had Kilo Fresh. Yeah, we had Kilo Fresh come through. He brought 10th Wonder. Freedom. Yeah, he brought Freedom with him. He brought I feel like he brought another dude with him too. But then we also,
was it Zay? Feel like
It might have been.
white dude.
No.
No. Okay.
But then we also brought SK the novelist, and he brought PTP with him. So we had a freestyle battle.
Damn.
With SK the novelist too. You know what I'm saying? So we tied it very deep into what we were doing, and and can you believe during my first show, during my set, one of these motherfuckers that I done paid to be there interrupted my set.
What? How?
I don't know how. My music got chopped, and then they just came walking to the ring. Bro, I was.
Whoa, I would be
I
so
was
mad.
too mad, bro.
Whoa,
too mad.
what?
But he got his ass beat that night though, so.
Karma.
Yeah. And I beat it, so it's all good.
Oh yeah. So tell me about music videos that you've done.
Man, I've we've done a few. I said earlier in the podcast that like I have come to terms, with things that I'm good at and things that I'm not. I'm really good with small details, musicality, all the things like that, lyricism and stuff like that. I know what I want to see, so I'm really good at like delegating here's the picture. This is what I need you to get. You know what I'm saying?
So you're very like specific.
Yeah, I'm very specific. I feel like I'm a good director. That could be a totally biased statement, but
I mean,
I feel like I'm a good director.
Like everybody can think like good shit, but it's like there's only like a select people that like are good enough to explain it.
Oh yeah. You know what I'm saying? And so I feel like I know how to ask for what I want, whether it's musically or whether it's visually when I'm working with my videographers and stuff like that in wrestling. Because for us, our wrestling company, the visuals are extremely important. You know what I mean? So, but I learned that because the first music video that we did was for the song named Focus, and it was a decent music video. And it actually got me my first nomination. The nomination was not based on the video; it was based on the lyricism, which gave me more confidence in my craft as a writer. You know what I'm saying? Because you're like, okay, well the video was cool. They liked the video, but whatever.
What about what did you say?
Yeah, what I said. You know what I'm saying? Those bars was hitting, wasn't they? And you just wait. Like. Okay, but but so I got the first nod for my lyrics, but then when we got to the event, we started to notice why. We had a great music video, we had a great look, it just wasn't polished, and so we had the technology, we had Final Cut Pro, we had a nice camera, we had daylight, we had all kind of things, that we had everything we needed. We just were not proficient in what it was that we were doing. We didn't understand overlays, and we didn't understand all kind of things that videographers actually do instead of it just taking the footage that you have and just splicing it up, putting it together, make a couple transitions, and boom, you got a music video. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like, and so we immediately knew, like, okay, we got to do something else when it comes to the visual. So my best friend and I, he was my producer. I wrote all the songs and stuff like that. We were like, bet. So now we need to change this team around. So you stay in the production, I'll stay in the lyrics. Our money combined, we'll pay for visuals, and then we'll just do it like that. And so that's kind of how it.
Damn. So you basically had like a team starting up, basically.
Yeah, and so we, I've had a team from the inception of, cause like I've done music for a long time. Like I did music when I was back in college, living in Florida and everything else like that. I was part of a group called Something Anonymous, and the head of the group, or the leader of our group, his name is Ian Matthews. He's actually a high level engineer at Plush Studios. One of his records is number 6 on the billboards right now.
Damn.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, like, that's the company that I've been in. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was in a music group with this guy. You know what I mean? So, like,
That's
but,
dope.
so we started earlier and we messed up one opportunity, and that one opportunity kind of got us canceled in the city for a little bit. Like, we could not get bookings for a while.
Damn.
And that's because we no-showed a booking. You know what I'm saying? And it was a bad mistake. And it was because... Just a bad decision. I'm not even gonna get into it. Just a bad decision. It doesn't. Artists, it don't matter how big or small the booking is. If you have confirmed the booking, fucking go.
Facts.
Just don't not show, because then it messed up everything for us for a while, to the point where we didn't have no more group. I ended up moving. You know what I'm saying? Like, and a couple months later, he was an intern at Plush, and then he's worked his way on up, and you know what I mean. But anyway, and congratulations to him. Like, shout out.
Yeah, most definitely.
So I knew earlier, being in the group situation, that like doing everything by yourself is really difficult. You know what I'm saying? Because you got, writing, mixing, mastering, recording, all the different things. Like, being an engineer is not easy. You know what I'm saying? And you just think a homeboy just sitting on the computer pressing 2 or 3 buttons and he just chilling.
Exactly.
Like, no, it's not like that.
Really...
Yeah, he pitching all kind of stuff and audio correcting, and all these little all the things that he can do. So it was basically the same thing whenever music started again. I had already been writing raps, right? So I had been had raps. So I just used to fucking rap, and it was just like, oh, okay, well, I got these songs. Well, whenever I met when I met my homeboy, and he was saying that he had a studio, I came into his house to rap, and he was like, bro, like, we got to do something about this. So we just recorded a song, and we just showing it to our friends. Like, hey, listen to this. Mook can rap. Did you know Mook can rap? Mook can rap. That's crazy. This is crazy. And, so they handed off. And one of my homegirls was like, yo, I can really do something with this. Like, I have a cousin that does a light show for Chris Brown. Like, so I'm going to just send it to him and just see what he says about it. Cool. Thanks. Shout out Janoli. She was like, well, I haven't heard from my cousin, but I sent it to a couple of other people, and they're interested in working with you and doing this and that.
Damn, that's dope.
Janoli, you're part of my team. You don't even know it. Like, what are you doing?
Thanks.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it was me and Jacob. We doing this music. We passed it to Janoli just because we were like, yo, take a listen. Mook is being crazy on the fucking mic. Like, and she was like, bro, no, we can do something.
So she was like the distributor, basically.
Bro, basically. Basically, like, the manager who was pitching me out to other people. Like,
exactly.
So then she is the one who, Janoli was the one who told me that I needed to record a music video so I could submit it to the Asheville Video Music Awards. I don't know how she found out about it. She was just like, hey, I heard the situation's going on. You need to submit to it. I was like, bet. So I did. And everything after that just started opening up. Because once I got my nod for my lyrics, and everybody else started hollering at me for helping with them write and all stuff like that. So it was just like,
damn,
cool. And every time I got an invite, Mook, we want you here, I would just bring Janoli and Jacob because you invited me. They are me. Yeah. So going.
Yeah, they're your team.
So that's my team. And so Janoli had to take a break because she wanted to focus on school and some other things, which is great, wanting to better yourself and everything. So when it came down to the music video part, and like I said, we immediately realized we needed help somewhere. We just started reaching out to everybody else, and trial and error. We find people that do great product who we either vibe with. And just because we don't vibe with them doesn't mean that they're not great people. It doesn't mean that we fault or argue with. Sometimes you can sit with a person and y'all you feel like a kindred spirit. Like, bro, I could just sit down and talk to homie and watch fucking TV like all fucking, you know what I'm saying, whatever. Yeah. And some people, you literally are there just to do your job, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? But like, I tend to work better with people that I vibe well with. You know what I'm saying? I can get a job done.
It's easier to vibe with someone because you get like the outcome is way more authentic, basically. So.
And that's what we going for all the time. Like, I'm not about to pretend to be no trapper. I ain't trying to pretend to be no perfect person. That's why I was, I like to clarify and make things clear all the time because like I am authentically me and I am not trying to pretend to be nothing else. You know what I mean?
Bro.
So, but yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I just the music video thing just kind of happened out of just knowing what I wanted to see and then seeing where my skills as an artist lacked, and I knew where I needed to reach out at.
Oh yeah, so tell me about any like future music videos. Do you have any like future music videos in the making or any new songs?
Oh yeah, I mean definitely. There's always new songs. I've been working on this album in COVID night. Kind of put a little bit of a stint in my recording process, but we actually about to change that up because I got a session at the studio this Sunday. Coming up, not. But anyway, so I had a mixtape or an album that was coming out called The Working Man, and it was gonna be all Spaceman Jones beats and as far as musically, I always say my shit is like conscious with a kick. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause dad life is my life every single day.
Oh, yeah,
I don't ever want to pretend. You know what I'm saying? So like a lot of times I'm just like what Focus and Realize is talking about. Like I've been through some shit, but for the most part I'm always I'm talking to myself. You know what I'm saying? Like I gotta stay focused. I gotta realize some things ain't for me. You know what I'm saying? Everybody ain't for me. And I'm all just the regular shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like I get caught in like there's like two sides to everybody sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know exactly what to call it, but I always explain it to people. Like people always saying like Mook is such a nice guy, and it's like, yeah, I am a nice guy. But I also punch you in the face. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, most definitely.
And so there's I don't know if the correct word is duality, but there is that two side person, and I mean everybody has that, you know what I'm saying? And so like I felt like that needed to be explored deeper within me to help people get to know me a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so now I'm working on the concept of working like the working man and then bow tie off. You know what I'm saying? Because people usually, I'm synonymous with my bow tie that I wear while I'm performing or when I'm wrestling. So, my tie off stuff is way different from my more positive, like, come on, brother, stay focused kind of deal.
You know
what I'm saying? Like, because like I got one on like on the working man that's like waking up early, I am on the grind, accumulated hours, I'm in overtime, and it's basically talking about all the shit that I'm doing, all day, and it's keeping me busy and that's making me a savage. You know what I'm saying? Because I say to show you the best of me, I got to show you the beast of me. That's part of that thing. It's like but then bow tie off, it's like I'm on a mission to stack money and fuck bitches. You know what I'm saying? It's completely different. You know what I'm saying? And so, but I again, I kind of felt like it was that kind of thing where you have certain people just. It was weird to me because I've been rapping in the city way before I started wrestling in the city. You know what I'm saying? But people who literally have no idea that I do music. The only thing I do, I'm a wrestler. And so it's like, bro, you rap too?
Yeah.
And bro, I don't only rap, bro. I snap, cuz. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I know everybody says that, but bro, there's not many people who can rap about dad life and like going to work and making shit sound hard the way that
the way
that I'm delivering. You know what I'm saying? And it's all in delivery and all this other stuff, so I get it. But that's my skill, that's my craft. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to get out. You know what I'm saying? So so right now I'm just working on the concept of the working man and then finishing up bow tie off, and you know what I mean?
Yeah. So tell me about do you have any performances other than your own shows that you're like gonna perform at after shit gets back up and like normal again?
Yeah, well I definitely am booked in a lot of different wrestling promotions. So that I'm mostly in Tennessee because I don't know what the phase situation in Tennessee is, but they operating like they ain't got no restrictions. And I'm taking all the personal precautions that I need, wearing face masks while I'm out and about in public, and hand sanitizer and all the other stuff. But as an independent wrestler, as a single father, um, as a person who I live alone and I got to pay rent, I need that income from my gigs. You know what I'm saying? I need that gig income. So I'm definitely still accepting gigs, wrestling, and depending on how far they are away from my home, just depends on what that amount looks like. But musically, um, a lot of the stuff as far as the venues that I would perform at musically has been put on hold just because of the pandemic.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years, I mean, definitely, having my business, UCW, the LLC, still growing. I wanted to, because we're currently profitable. A lot of companies can't say that when they're a year in the business. We haven't had anything go into the red yet, so thank God for that. So in 5 years, I definitely want to see my company, take the next level. Establish and maintain um, excellent business credit and things like that. Because I think in 5 years, I think it would be safe to say that we would be in the process of solidifying, not ourselves as a promotion, because I think we'll do that in the next two. But I think in 5, I think we'll be able to solidify our territory. Because we are a show that goes on the road, so we know that we could travel with our show now since we were able to do it with the community show. We know what it takes to do that, and we learn through everything.
Yeah.
So as far as my business is concerned, I definitely see that as far as the growth pattern and the growth plan realistically in 5 years. Personally, in 5 years, like I've already said, I'm blessed to have the job that I have. And so unless something immensely time consuming occurs within my business, within the LLC, I definitely see myself moving forward within my career path within my job. Because I feel like I'm good at what I do. I have a connection with the community of people that I serve to, so that I definitely want to continue, my career path and supervisor, train, or something, division head, something. We'll figure it out.
Oh yeah. So, do you have any inspirations?
Yeah, I mean, I got a lot of inspirations. My granddad is definitely an inspiration. He's 91. He's upstairs. That's he's still kicking, still driving, still doing everything. You know what I'm saying? And like, I joke with him all the time. It's like, I see people who will recognize my last name and be like, "Are you related to Mr. and Mrs. Cunningham off of South French Broad?" And I'm like, "Yeah, those are my grandparents." And they're like, "Man, they taught me in high school." And I'm looking at them, I'm like, "Are you sure you didn't teach them? Because you look way older than they do." You know what I'm saying? My granddaddy's 90 and he looks like he's 60. And some people come through like he's be 60 and they look like they 90. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, he's definitely a huge inspiration. Just having somebody that wise and going through the life that he lived and all the other stuff. He's seen all of the different steps of cult. You know all the progress of culture in this country. You can see. Because he's from New York, so he's seen the northern side of it, he's seen the southern side of it, and he was in the military, so he's been overseas and he's seen that aspect of it. You know what I'm saying? So, another thing having him around is has been key to keeping me sane half the time, because a lot of times you just think back about some of the stuff that Pop said, like. He's very stern and slow, but very loud in talking. You know what I'm saying? So when he speaks, it resonates with you. So it's like a vibrating voice inside of your head sometimes. Like, well, Bob said, and then some big voice comes. Like, all right, well, okay, so I'm gonna just chill, let people do that. And it just helps out. And I'm not one of those people that I don't idolize stars. I definitely quote unquote, I definitely give them the respect that they're due because they're extremely talented and they're paving the way for the next generation of stars and everything else like that, quote unquote. But I mean, I think everybody that's just doing their thing and staying positive and not doing anything to spite people, you know what I'm saying, like, and being hateful, bro. Those are the people that I look up to. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, they making shit happen and they not hurting nobody to make it happen.
Exactly.
Those are the people I look up to.
Oh yeah, that's really dope. So let's talk about what makes you you.
Oh shit. Bro, I think my mom dropped me on my head a couple times. Nah, I mean, I think it took me a minute. All the life experiences. There's not many people who can be like, yo, I was homeless before, multiple times before I was even at high school. I can do this. I just think life experience in general, and I went through childhood trauma and all kind of things like, things that people would never be able to tell looking at me today. You know what I'm saying? But like, I think after a certain amount of time, it took me a minute to be comfortable with who I was as a person and not try to be who I felt like I was supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, once I came to terms with that, I think it made it so much easier for me to be my old crazy ass silly self. Cause I'm a fool. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have a good time, but I choose to be like that because
it's good to have that. You're young at the heart.
Absolutely. And a lot of people are always like, why are you so damn happy all the time? But it always goes back to some of that, and I'm not trying to be, cliche or down or whatever, but it's like, bro, I woke up in a bed this morning and that bed was mine. You have no idea how that feels. And it was a king bed. So it was a big ass bed. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
people take that for granted.
For granted, bro. And they have no idea. It's like, I didn't wake up with my neck stiff because I slept in the same seat in a Nissan Quest that I ate breakfast in and did homework in the last couple of days. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people have no idea how that feels and still complain. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, bro, you have
like, I mean, I feel like I have it hard, but then it's like, I think about, like, I could, like, at least have, like, a roof over my head and everything. It's like there's, like, so much shit that, like, that could happen to me, and, like, it hasn't. So
yeah, bro. I mean,
look to that.
And bro, life is not easy, and everybody has their own emotional struggle with the path that they're on because it's so difficult to see the end of the tunnel when you first go in it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so hard to do that shit like every single time. But like, I'm constantly, and when I say constantly telling myself, even when it's like some BS that I don't even agree with, like, all right, bruh, everything happens for a reason, so just chill out. All you gotta do is just chill for a second, and I bet you'll understand why this shit happened in a couple days. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. And like, situations has been crazy. Like, I am a little bit over a year out of a 13-year relationship.
Damn.
I was in a relationship with my son's mom for 13 years. Never, ever did I think that I was going to ever see a day with me being a single person ever again.
Damn, for real?
Yeah, never. Because I loved her. I loved her for real. And I ain't, trying to be mushy or gushy or nothing like that. But,
shit,
and,
it's
people,
normal to be like that.
Yeah, but, people have issues, and I wanted to help her through those issues. Even though she cheated on me multiple times and all kind of shit. Yeah. I swallowed my pride, and, your pride is connected to your ego and self-confidence. My self-confidence was shaken, but it didn't even matter because I swallowed that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't even care about that. It was like, all right, just let me know that you're doing better and we'll be. And bro, after a while, it was destroying me. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it was terrible. I never thought that I was gonna. My own folks, my mom, my sister, when I told them I was moving out, they were like, shut the fuck up. No, you're not. Nobody ever thought that I was going to make the move.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? Because I was so devoted to this person. Because it was like I was making the little thing. Every time I was trying to hit the board, it didn't matter how hard I was going.
It wasn't going through.
It wasn't going through. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was just like, sometimes you get hit with shit, and so I had to tell myself, bro, like, this is literally happening for a reason. And whether it's, now, me and her still have a great relationship, and I'm proud of that. You know what I'm saying? But whether I needed to be out of her life so that she could get the help that she needed, or put her in a better state, because we were at that point, we're toxic for each other and things like that. So I'm not going to sit around and pretend like I was like the best person all the time. You know what I'm saying? But like, it's hard when you're in that emotional state and you're feeling like helpless, but you also want to help. You know what I mean? So, bro, I just had to be like, bro, everything is happening for a reason. I just had to just like sit back and swallow it and just,
Hell yeah.
ride. And I'm here, bro. Ever since that situation has happened, though, I've had so many more opportunities and so many more moments of clarity that I've had in the last 8 years, bro.
Damn. See, like you said, everything happens for a reason.
Yeah, everything happens for a reason.
So, what would your message to the youth be?
Message to the youth, man, is just that little voice that makes you feel insecure about who it is that you are right now when you're feeling like you're being your most genuine self. You got to figure out how to shut that one up. Me and my homeboy, we play this. We ask ourselves or ask each other this question all the time. What would you tell yourself 10 years, like the 10 years ago you? Like, what would you tell yourself 10 years ago? And I always come back to be that person who you want to be. Because people will catch up. You know what I'm saying? Like, exactly. I was crazy. I was, you know what I'm saying? I was a little black kid that wanted to do tattoos and earrings and da-da-da. But I had dreadlocks. Bro, you see how long my dreadlocks are. I didn't cut these shits. I had dreadlocks before dreadlocks was cool for anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, now granted, I was back down in Florida, and a lot of people had dreadlocks where I was from. Yeah. But up here, bro, I would come up here, and people would be like, why you do your hair like that? You know, they used to call them rat titties when I was coming up. You know what I'm saying? Like come on, bro. Man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, for a while, it was just like, I felt like, I could have embraced my character. I could have embraced my zaniness and whatever, and channeled that into something more creative or whatever. And no, I'm having a great time. I'm not complaining at all. I'm having a great time with whatever it is that I'm doing now and all the opportunities that I'm getting. But had I embraced that whenever I was 13, 14, bro, like, it'd be a different story perhaps. Who knows? But definitely. That would be my advice, is just, bro, that little voice inside of you that's like, they ain't gonna like this shit. They gonna think you weird because of that.
Don't listen to it.
Don't listen to it, bro. Don't listen to it. Because I guarantee you there's 100 other people who are thinking the exact same thing.
Most definitely.
The exact same way that you're thinking. It's crazy.
Exactly. So before we close out the interview, you got any shout outs you want to shout out? Besides
all the people that I have already mentioned, because bro, that's a whole nother podcast. I mean, I want to give a shout out to Jessica Thomason. I want to give a shout out to Slater Mike, my homies at Slater Mike, the girls at Slater Mike, Layla and Lecky. Can't forget Party Man, because Party Man be up there sometimes. He ain't been up there in a minute. Cousin TL, always showing support. All my Instagram folks, man, like, I appreciate y'all, because that's where I'm most active, is on Instagram. So make sure y'all definitely hit me up at the Instagram at Mook the BTSG, MOOKTHE
follow that man.
Follow, please. Give me some attention. But no, I mean, everybody that I've named in the podcast, I mean, definitely shout out to them. So, all the folks at the School of Morton that I've named, shout out to them. Even if I haven't named you specifically and you work with the School of Morton, I mean, like I said, like, I am a firm believer that my interaction and my circumstance with the School of Morton is not tied to every single other person's situation with them. You know what I'm saying? So I know another person can go and have an extremely great time.
Oh yeah.
It just was not the place for me at that time. I was there for almost 5 complete years. So yeah, it was a great place for me to be until it wasn't. You know what I mean? So shout out to everybody that was there, even to the person who was responsible for me not being there. Shout out to that sour sack of shit. Shout out to you, bro. I hope everything. I you're not gonna take me serious, but I pray for your counsel. I do. But you know, like I said, everybody that you know that I've had a chance to work with that's given me opportunity. Shout out to Don Clayton, who I want to be when I grow older. And the folks at Echo Mountain. Yeah, man. Just all of my wrestling friends, fans, family members. Bruh.
Hell yeah.
You know.
So I guess with that being said, y'all make sure y'all follow Mook on Instagram. You can say your Instagram again.
Yeah, it's Mook the BTSG. MOOKTHEBTSG.
Follow that man. Also, don't forget to follow the Visionary on all social medias. And yeah, y'all be safe. Don't get the run.
Get 'em.
Peace.
Yeah. To show you the best, I gotta show you the beast. I was holding back, I just took off the leash. I hear that loud talk, it don't mean shit to me. I'ma show you boss talk, boy, yes indeed. To show you the best, I gotta show you the